or conspire. You know, when coup occurs, if you were informed of the coup, even if you don't give your endorsement, Otidara, if the coup fails, I voted one. You are in soup. You can't tell them that they only informed you. They informed you of impending danger and what could terminate lives, change government. You kept quiet. You have aided and abetted it. You have given a subtle endorsement to it.
Well, aiding and abetting has not been established against Sheikh Gumi. He only seems to sympathize with the criminals.
Another one. When you are in constant relationship or you associate with a known criminal, condemned criminal, or a wanted person, someone who has been declared wanted, if you dare associate with them, the law has a whatever for you too of dealing with you. You could be tagged accomplices, isn't it? But in this case, Uncle, you are telling me that those who kidnapped, those who abducted those children are not criminals. They are not wanted. They are not known criminals. And anyone who associates with them should not be called for questioning, should not be interrogated, or be used as a guide to get the criminals apprehended and prosecuted and killed if possible, because they've equally killed and maimed.
You know one thing, for Sheikh Gumi to be making this offer, it means he knows where to find these people. He knows who they are, and he could.
It simply means he has the keys to their bedrooms,
and he will know their areas of vulnerability. And these are the things I think the security agencies should exploit. I'm not saying Sheikh Gumi should be placed under arrest, but then he could help since he knows so much about them. He knows where they are.
The only way he wants to help is to negotiate, get some money for the bandits or the criminals, and who knows if he gets kickback.
Well, he didn't say what the terms of negotiation would be. He just said
and how convenient. So they don't hurt you, they don't harm you, they know you negotiate with government, and you also come to them. You are not the ones who founded or established the criminal gang. You are not their spiritual leader. So how convenient.
They have a lot of respect for. They seem to revere him for him to be confidently saying that he could talk to them, and he has been talking to them in the past.
He has been talking to them, and the injustice continues.
That's why.
And the criminality continues.
That's why.
And the abduction continues. They abducted 2 years ago. You negotiated. That didn't stop their drive and blood-sucking ambition. It didn't stop that. You emboldened them through that negotiation because ransom was paid. They got more money. So they got more weapons. They had the audacity to come abduct again years later. You want to go with the negotiation again, and God forbid in some years to come or months to come, they go for another operation because they see it as very good business, cool one.
So if they listen to him so much, he should be able to tell them to stop. Since they listen to him, they obey him, they revere him so much, so he should be able to tell them that put a stop to these things.
And if he tells them that, they will stop because of the reverence, because of the respect that they have for him.
So why is he not doing that?
That is the question the security operatives and the government should ask him. If you are not their sympathizers, you are not happy that this criminal business is flourishing, and if you are not benefiting from it, you ought to tell them in clear terms. At least use whatever verse of the holy books and whatever thing you can, the way they respect you. Tell them to turn a new leaf. That's not the best thing to do. That's not the way to get Al-Jannah.
Let's have this commercial break show and we'll be back.
Ìyálọ́jà kí ló dé tójú yín kọ́rẹ́ lọ́wọ́ báyìí.
Baba landlord, ìyá Tọ́pẹ́ ni mò ń dúró fún o. A ní láti tètè padà sí ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé.
Fún kí ni?
Baba landlord, Tọ́pẹ́ làrùn diphtheria kọlù o.
Ṣé ẹ̀ ń gba abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára fún ni?
Èyí náà mọ̀ bí nǹkan ṣe máa ń rí nígbà míì baba landlord. Tọ́pẹ́ ò gba abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára kọ̀ọ̀kan láti ìgbà tí wọ́n ti bí o.
Lóòótọ́ ìyálọ́jà ṣé bọ́ọ̀dẹ̀ lẹ pera yín ṣé ẹ kì í bá ìyá Tọ́pẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára ni.
ibí yìí náà ló wà nígbà tí àbúrò mi Bíọ́lá bímọ tó sì gbé ọmọ rẹ̀ lọ sí ilé ìwòsàn láti gba abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe là á kalẹ̀ fún un. Bíọ́lá náà tún gbà pẹ̀lú.
ìyá Tọ́pẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ìlera ọmọ là ń sọ yìí o tí a bá gba abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára yìí fún wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ṣe là á kalẹ̀ bí ìgbà tí à ń fi ẹ̀mí wọn wéwu ni ṣé ẹ̀ ní tẹ̀lé ẹni tó mọ̀nà ni.
tí ọmọ rẹ ò bá gba àwọn abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára kan tètè mú lọ sí ilé ètò ìlera kó lè gbà á kí àwọn òbí náà kúkú lo àyè náà láti gba abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára COVID-19 pé 7722 fún àlàyé pípé.
mo ti ní tẹ́lẹ̀ kì í ṣogún ìní o tí o bá ní ìlà Glo kankan tí ò tí ì sopọ̀ mọ́ NIN rẹ àǹfààní ìkẹyìn rèé fún ọ láti so pọ̀ kí wọ́n bá bàa di ìlà rẹ. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o àjọ Nigerian Communication Commission NCC ti sọ pé tí o bá tí ì so NIN rẹ pọ̀ mọ́ ìlà Glo rẹ wọ́n máa di ìlà rẹ ni o sì ní ìkànsíra ẹni mọ́ o ní lè ṣe okòwò ọjà rẹ lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ rẹ o ní lè pè tàbí gba ìpè ṣe àtẹ̀ránṣẹ́ tàbí ṣíṣe àyẹ̀wò iye tó kù nínú àpò ìkówósí rẹ torí náà má jẹ́ kó já ẹ kúrò tẹ *996# báyìí tàbí kí o rìn lọ sí ibùsọ̀ Glo tàbí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn aṣojú tí ń ṣe ìforúkọsílẹ̀ síìmù tí ó bá súnmọ́ ọ láti so NIN rẹ pọ̀ mọ́ ìlà Glo rẹ kí o sì wà digbí lórí ìlà rẹ títí láé tí o bá sì ní NIN kàn lọ sí ọ́fíìsì NIMC nítòsí rẹ láti ṣètò tiẹ̀ rántí ọ̀fẹ́ ní ìforúkọsílẹ̀ síìmù o.
Unlimited.
All right, we're back and the program is still conversation.
Tola, we are just sleeping on the wheel, leaving the substance and treating the periphery. You see, we are not serious. And until we tell ourselves the bitter truth about how to think change for good, we'll still be moving around within a circle, rigmarolling, and to no specific destination. We'll just be moving up, down, running hectare-scatter without any positive results. It cannot continue that way. See, afetele and palapalapa. Until, that's why some people are calling for regulation of religious practice in this country. In respect, I'm not saying we shouldn't respect our clergies. They deserve our respect, and we equally deserve some respect from them. Like fella said, teacher, don't teach me nonsense. Clerics, don't hypnotize us. Don't turn us to extremists. Don't give us the wrong teachings. Most of them appears to be gods. Especially in other parts, with due respect to those who are from that region. What we must call a spade is spade. That's the essence of analysis. We look at issues without bias, basically to find solutions, especially where problems abound. When you look at the socio-cultural practices in some northern parts of the country, and that attachment to their faith is not a crime. It's not a crime. But it comes with gullibility sometimes. And because of the seeming Almajiri system or Rankadede system of the northern part, rather than ask your leaders questions, those who are feeding fat on your commonwealth and giving you peanuts, they make their followers so lazy, sometimes hypnotize them. They don't ask them questions. They are satisfied. Just give us the daily bread. Let's carry bowl, plate, and come to your homes early in the morning and late in the evening, or anytime. So far you give us food to eat, we are okay. If you like, steal all our money. If you like, don't even come to develop the area. We are not bothered. Just give us our daily bread to eat, feeding alone. That's why you see one begging. He gives birth to 5. He still recruits them into the begging business. They are on the streets. They don't think of a better life. They don't think of anything positive. They don't think of coming out of that quagmire and sorry state that they are. So far their leaders are giving them rice, beans, tuwo shinkafa daily. So when you give them that, you become their God and Lord. You become their Alpha and Omega. Whatever you tell them to do, they do without looking back. And that is the fear. You cannot go arrest a cleric anyhow. One said they should kill the first lady because he referred to her as an infidel. No be so? You don't just go pick them up anyhow because of the followers that they have, because of the cult-like movement, because of the number of people that they control, the almadris, those of low life or low quality, that they will swing to action and destroy everything in sight if their leader instruct them to do so. And that is the problem. And why? Because they lack qualitative formal education. That's, I think, is the bane of development in that area. Because when you are educated to a level, you will know that, this man is using me. No, I won't follow you gullibly, foolishly, sheepishly this way again. But because they lack that, that's why they believe anything that their clerics tell them, both Islamic and Christian cleric.
One question, Seun. If you are a parent to one of the, God forbid, a parent to one of the abducted children, you live in northern Nigeria and you're a parent to one of those abducted children, wouldn't you rather trust Sheikh and Gumi to get your children out where the government and the authorities are not forthcoming and obviously are not ready to do anything to see that your child returns them safely back home?
Well, a parent in this kind of situation, you will think of all possibilities, all available opportunity to get your ward or your child back home on earth. So if it's the devil that is even offering that, you have to agree.
Yeah, exactly the point.
If it's the sympathizers of the abductors that is offering that, you must agree. So far the assurance is there that your child will come back home on earth.
Remember the core members in southeast, somewhere around southeast Nigeria, I think, who were abducted, and then neither the NYC nor the authorities are willing to lift a finger for their rescue. So if Sheikh Gumi had been in that part of the country and is offering them very positive assurances that he will get them out, you think the parents will not trust him?
They could and they would, because the government has failed. And that is why I'm saying we cannot continue this way. Don't because of the fear of, you don't want someone to die because he's allergic to crying. Someone is so, whenever anything occurs, the guy or the woman will cry, and because of that you say, okay, you don't have a procession or you don't carry the remains of any departed or corpse. You don't have that passage in front of the person who cries a lot's house because you want to prevent that cry. No, it's not possible. Does that mean we should not bury the dead again because someone is in the habit of crying? No. If he wants to cry, let him cry. If she wants to cry, let her cry. We must bury our dead and give them befitting burial. So the government must do the needful. Don't be so afraid of what the clerics, especially the ones that are not even preaching the right gospel to the people, the ones who have hypnotized their own people, the ones who are giving them the wrong preachings. You don't leave them and say because of mob action, because of what their followers will do, they should continue in that manner and provocative statements and preaching people against themselves or against the government, or saying that they will be the negotiators or the ones to go whatever. The dichotomy, and that's the injustice that some have noticed in this country, this form of discrimination per se. If someone down south does that, you know the kind of treatment that would have been meted on that person. If it happens somewhere else, you treat with kid glove. You look the other way. We are in the same country. We abide and subscribe to the same laws, set of laws. So why? Why the difference? Let the law and order must prevail. Don't look at the person's face or the mode of dressing or where he comes from. If he has committed infractions, let him or her be dealt with in accordance with the provisions of the law. Until you do that, things will not change. Certain things will still fester in different parts of this country. and they see it as a normal thing. Or better still, ensure there is qualitative, basic, Western, formal, married with Quranic education. Virtually everybody in this country, especially from the northern part of the country, must be educated. Either they are the nomadic Fulanis or whatever. They must get proper education so that they will resist the oppression from their leaders, so that they will resist the devilish directives from their leaders, so-called leaders. Either they are clerics or clergy or political leaders or whatever leaders.
Well said, Seun, but you sound as if a leader could afford to undermine the capabilities or the potentialities of the mob. As a leader, you must be conscious of what the mob can do to destabilize your government. That's about the holy books, Seun. Jesus Christ was condemned to death because the governor was afraid of the mob.
Yes.
He was scared of the mob. Even and that was a governor with total 100% authoritarian powers. The Caesars, remember in those days, the Roman Empire. Anytime things have to do with the mob, they will kind of tilt their decisions.
Tola, and what happened? Jesus Christ was killed. No, be so. What could have been prevented? Because of fear. If we continue in this manner and we exercise the fear,
well, eventually
we are so cautious. We are cautious. You act with restraint. You don't want the mob. You don't want this to happen. You don't want them to destroy this. You don't want them to give you a bad name in the particular region. You are seeking second term. You are seeking this. You don't want them to kick against you. If you continue that way, it will still be the same negative results that you'll be getting.
But then fewer people will die rather than having thousands killed.
Thousands may not be killed if you are proactive as a government, not because you have been jittery or afraid of what they will do. You knew what they could do, then you plan for what they will do or what they could do. You have the government security apparatus in place too. Waiting, you think so now only your head the madness day? Yes, allow those khaki guys and the security operators and officers to do their work without sentiments, without any unnecessary sentiments or affiliations.
Don't forget that the khaki guys too, they become compromised.
That's the problem. Charge them. You are the commander-in-chief of the Air Force. If you do anyhow, you see anyhow. If you disrupt the peace of this region, we are going to deal with you decisively. Ìjọba amúnimóògùn ni o. If you think there is madness in your brain, government will bring it down. The government that knows its onions will bring it down. You can't be crazy and crazier than those who have the legal backing to exhibit that craziness on hearing those who intend to disrupt the peace of the nation. If they catch you once, forget. So the government should be proactive, mobilize if it requires huge mobilization of security forces to areas where you believe if you arrest their leader or the person who is causing problem, you could give directive or call for disruption. Mobilize enough troops to that place so that you nip it in with the board, and the nonsense will stop.
Let's move on, Seun. Still on insecurity, federal government to recruit more police soldiers. That's coming from Senator Abdulaziz Adwa, and he says sacking APC chairman tells Tinubu to sack incompetent security chiefs. Troops kill 4 terrorists in Taraba, Zamfara, rescue hostages in Kogi. Adam terrorism funding. CDS seeks more efforts to track sponsors. I believe they know who the sponsors are.
You will be afraid to name the sponsors because of their whatever, their region or political leaning or whatever. Why are you afraid? Name them. If they are former this, former that, name them. If you have the facts, you just give Nigerians the right orientation to believe that, look, these people could be your leaders, but they are working against the progress of this nation, and they must be dealt with. But you are afraid. Afraid of who? Afraid of what?
And our customs intercepts arms military uniform at Lagos ports. The Ghanaian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ambassador Rohai Dubawa is dead.
Yeah.
Abuja,
Yeah.
according to information gathered by the nation. But, our disruptive approach turning Enugu's fortunes around, says Zumba. Whatever that means.
A destructive approach. If it requires that, if it requires you destroying the enemies, destabilizing them, if that is what is required also from the federal government, rather than the dilly-dally and begging, going and begging, being jittery, and being afraid of what people could do. If it requires a destructive approach, use it on anybody who is deserving of it. And let's have permanent peace.
And okay, Nigeria's inflation is now 31.70% as at February. That's according to
the highest in the history of this country, perhaps. 30-something% inflation rate.
You know this saying that
you are crying more than the bereaved.
Kogi government to EFCC, our money not missing, accuses Commission of Planning fictitious charge against Yaya Bello. So they said that Yaya Bello has not stolen.
Well, the current is still tied to the former or the parents' apron spring. And so, what do you expect?
So if they are saying money is not stolen, so who went to the EFCC? If the state government is saying that nothing is missing.
And that's why I said the current leadership in the state is still tied to the mother's apron spring, and that is the former governor. So maybe a way to show loyalty.
They must have learned lessons from Rivers.
Well, they can say that to the Marines. Well, you are not the anti-graft agency. You are only the executive governor. And who is being targeted, who is being investigated, who is being prosecuted? So, if they have their facts, you are not the ones to tell them if money is missing or not.
Can they have those facts without the cooperation of the state government?
No, they don't. They are the watchdog. They are okay. State government. You think it's all state governments and governors that are truthful, that are so accountable? They spend on frivolities. Some of them loot, and that is known. So it's not that we are just calling their names. I don't say all. Some. That's why when they finish their terms, either first term or second term, they rush to the National Assembly, retirement home, to still get some cover. You know, when they were governors, they had the immunity. You dare not prosecute them. So they still want to be within corridors of power. That's why they rush to that retirement home for certain cover. They are not the ones to tell us if money is missing or not. The anti-graft agencies will do the investigation and do the prosecution with facts if they have. Some headlines from my end. Collaboration, diversity, inclusion resonates at Guardian Women's Festival. Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu, Ayedatiwa, others pay tribute as 42nd Olubadan joins ancestors. He was laid to rest yesterday at the family compound in Aliwo area of Ibadan. May the soul of the departed rest in perfect peace. All right. Experts, false calls for price control board as food inflation eats 37.9%. Let's open the phone line. 0805 500 9850. 0805 500 9850. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Ojo Michael, come from Olumi.
Good to have you, Mr. Ojo Michael.
Well, God bless you. Yes, I want to comment on those who place in the capital city. The government should do the needful. And you know what? Before President Tinubu said they should not pay rent, they should wake up. The more they are chained here, the more they are exposed to danger. we remember those Chibok girls. Many of them did not return. Yes, on Oyo State identity card or whatever. Let us know the center, and I believe it will not cost. God bless you. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, thank you. God bless you too. 9850 085 500 9850. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Tola. Mr. Seun, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. John.
John calling from Ilori.
Good to have you, sir.
Mr. Tola, did I hear you say the treasury of the country should be handed over to the criminals, to the enemy of this country, the cabals of this country? Thank God, I love the way Mr. Seun dealt with that issue. You can't trust a monkey. A monkey will always be a monkey, and a thief is always a thief. When I was a teenager, my mother's pot of soup was always in trouble. I think along the line, someone advised my mom to cook the soup and always hand over to me. Since then, the pot of soup was very safe. I, as a teenager then, was a different case to all these executive criminals, international criminals. I think if Tinubu has his way, he should deal with them, even though they are his friends formally, and put them behind bars, if that is possible. So, Mr. Seun has dealt with that. On insecurity, I really did not trust some of the security architects who they are working for, the terrorists or Nigeria, because I have never heard of it. Secret is one of the biggest weapons to defeat your opponent. That is why in any warfare, the ability to keep secret so that intelligence will not lead to your opponent. You are halfway of winning the war. But in Nigerian context, they easily give what you have been an intelligent, they give it freely to the bandits and to the criminals. You hear them saying, we are working with our foreign partners. How will you leak that? Don't you also know that they also have foreign partners who could do that work and say, go and look at what they are working with? What are their plans? So I don't understand. That is why I said, Ukraine will eventually, even if it takes 10 years, we fall into the hands of Russia one day. Just because it was said and planned that Ukraine will fall. When America wants to supply any tank, they will mention the amount of tanks they will supply Ukraine. That means we announce it all. France will announce it all. For a leader like Putin to prepare, and those even tanks will take 6 months before it arrives. Is that how to win a war? Nigerian security architects, they should work in a more serious way. On Gumi, finally on Gumi, I think the northern leader to bet all the governors in the north, maybe they should be removing 10% every month from the security vote, so that they will go to the house of Gumi, kneel down before him, and hand over the 10% from each state to him, and beg him that terrorism must come to an end in the north, and particularly in the north or in Nigeria. And if they do that, maybe it will work, because this man knows too much. A former captain in the army and a medical doctor, now cleric, knows too much about banditry. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, thank you, Mr. John. Well, Mr. John, I do not exactly advocate handing over the treasury of the country to criminals. We are just trying to weigh some of the options which the federal government think they have. In the case of remember Niger Delta handed over the nation's pipelines to Tantita, and if you ask the government, they would say that Tantita has been doing a very good job, despite that company being owned by a very controversial figure. So I am not supporting.
If you do your independent investigation on the activities of Tantita, the largest that comes to him, the contract sum, and what is we are getting back as a nation, you will know for a fact if it's a blessing to us or a curse. We'll go on a quick commercial break.
Madam Naija, why is time for you as foreigners full your face like this?
Oga landlord, na mama Ruth I dey wait for, so we suppose rush go back health center.
For wetin?
Oga landlord, Ruth don get diphtheria o.
How it take happen? Shebi if dey go immunize am now.
Since I born Ruth, she never collect any immunization.
You say? Hi, Madam Naija. Shey she be your friend, you no tell am.
Shebi you dey here when my sister Joy born, and na every time im dey carry im pikin go collect immunization as e suppose. Joy follow collect im COVID vaccine that time.
Ha! Mama Ruth, na the health of our pikin dem we dey talk for here so. For them not to collect this immunization at all as e suppose be, they put their health for danger. You no go follow who no road.
If your pikin dem miss to collect any immunization, carry dem go any health center to complete am. Make papa and mama dem use that chance collect dem COVID vaccine too. Call 7722 for more information.
Nurse, mo máa rí ìpè yín láìpẹ́ yìí. Ṣé àlàáfíà ni ayọ̀ wà?
Níṣẹ́ ni olùkọ́ Ayọ̀ ní kó máa lọ sílé ìwòsàn ní gbogbo ìgbà nítorí ikọ́ rẹ̀ tí ò dáwọ́ dúró rárá.
Pẹ̀lẹ́ Ayọ̀, òótọ́ mà ní, níṣe ni ara ẹ̀ ń gbóná pàápàá, ṣùgbọ́n a ti fún ní oògùn ikọ́ bíi ìgò méjì ló báyìí.
Tí ikọ́ bá kọ̀ tí ò lọ, ó lè jẹ́ atọ́nà fún àìsàn mìíràn náà bí ikọ́ ife.
Nurse, ṣé ọmọ ọdún méje lè kó àìsàn ikọ́ ife ni?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀gbẹ́ni Babátúndé, mo rí ọ̀kan lára àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wa pàápàá náà lọ́sẹ̀ tó kọjá tí ó ní àwọn àmì ara irú eléyìí náà. Ẹ ṣe àyẹ̀wò kẹ́ lè mọ̀ dájú.
Ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀kámọ́ ohun tí ń ṣe.
Àwọn ọmọdé náà lè ní àìsàn ikọ́ ife tí wọ́n bá ti ní ìfararora pẹ̀lú ẹni tó ní àìsàn ikọ́ ife. Ọ̀fẹ́ ni àyẹ̀wò àti ìtọ́jú àìsàn ikọ́ ife. Ẹ pe nọ́mbà yìí 3340 tàbí *3340# fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ìkéde yìí wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ àjọ tó ń mójútó ìlera ti ìjọba àpapọ̀ pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn àwọn èèyàn ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà.
The program is still Conversation. We're taking calls 0805-500-9850. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Adegoke. I'm calling from Nalata.
Good to have you, Dr. Adegoke.
Thank you for your analysis. It's unfortunate that as a nation, we do not have a leader that is ready to solve some of our problems. We know the situation in the Niger Delta before late Shalaga came, and he proffered some solutions, and they were lasting solutions. But interestingly, we've not had that same mindset from any of our leaders. Our religiosity is our problem in this country. We all saw what happened when the government waged war against Saki. People thought it was witch hunting. But there's no way you can fight insecurity without taking such bold steps. What has happened to Saki today? So until we appeal to ourselves and put our religiosity somewhere and take our national life and peace and tranquility as a priority, we will not be able to, because sincerely the judge of sentiments are involved, and all of us know it, and we are putting our lives in danger, and the future of this country is on the edge of this world. May the Lord help us. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. We appreciate it. Exactly. That's the right thing to do. 805-500-9850. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Tola And Seun. I'm calling from the.
Good to have you. You are close to your radio set. Could you please move away from it or turn down the volume?
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, better now.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we can.
Yes, concerning the issue of unit. Yes, I want to say that these people call bandage, the Boko Haram, whatever name given to them, are still living in another planet in this world that is not been detected. That is the France, the so-called powerful nation of the world. Do they not detect it? Now, where are they living? By collecting the ransom from the people. Now,
Bumi said this during the times of the tenure of a former president that they should go for negotiation. Now, again, he still made the same comment. It's a former military dictatorship. We know more about these people. That is clearly. So why can government did not invite him, this man? That okay, this is what you have been saying, agitating about it. What are the way out? What are the solutions for us to be set free in this nation from these people? So if these countries will not be deceiving ourselves by our leaders, I think they have to make a step on this comment of this man.
All right.
So thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you. Now you of the precipice when you consider the level of insecurity in this country. So Tola, my submission is that to fight this and fight it in a way that we will have permanent tranquility and peace, fight like a blind man or cover your eyes and deal decisively, ruthlessly with the enemies of this country. That is my submission as we go this morning.
Right, we have to go. And we'll be back same time Monday morning, God willing. My name is Tola Teriba.
Thanks for enjoying conversation. Next is Sport Tidbit. Coach Victor Opone. He is our guide. Coach Victor. We have given you that title. The coach of the ladies.
I think I have to go against that play, but it's a wonderful Saturday morning, and we are ushered into a beautiful weekend where we have a lot of action. Actually talking about Nigerian football, where we have action in the Nigeria Premier Football League, and our favorite teams will be locked in action. We'll be talking about 3SC in the Southwest Derby against Lemon Stars. It's the hugest one that we are following, and I know that a lot of people want to be in the stadium today on Sunday, 4:30 p.m. It's a later than usual kickoff, 30 minutes behind the normal kickoff time. I'm sure Coach Tola will be there, and for the ladies, and Seun will also be there for the cheerleaders. So I think it's going to be an exciting one. But then, it's still massive right there in Accra, Ghana, where we have some of our stars aligning, talking about Nigeria. Although in football, Seun's boys, they fell flat yesterday, 3-2. They scored first to Eddie Go, but then they could not do the job. It's only at the Arcade Arena that Seun's team knows how to play ball. When they go to Accra, Ghana Jollof has taken over in their So I don't know what will happen in the next one, but the boys are out. Just one win in 3 games, and we are waiting on the girls. It's always the girls. And shout out to Coach Tola on this one. It's always the girls that do us proud. So kudos to you, Coach Tola.
All right, Sport Tidbit next with Victor Opone.
Of Ibadan, the home of ancient warlords, in the pace-setter state. This is OLUYOLEFM 98.5 Ibadan. From the city of Ibadan, the home of ancient warlords, in the pace-setter state. This is OLUYOLEFM